In today's tutorial for WordPress, I'm going to show you how we can take Smart Slider 3 and create this great slider header image for your website to display your recent posts from your blog. So let's just jump into WordPress and take a look at how we can do all of that right now. I'm Paul C and welcome to WPTuts, where I show you how to create beautiful WordPress websites. If this is your first time on the channel, please consider subscribing and clicking the bell icon to be notified of our weekly new content as soon as it's added to the channel. Okay, so we've got a slider in front of us and you can see it's displaying a range of different posts, some basic information about when it was posted and who posted it, and then a click-through link that'll take you through to view the post itself. So I want to show you how you can do this with Smart Slider 3. So let's just jump over and you can see I'm in Smart Slider. All we're going to do is go through and set this up, and then I'll show you how you can easily add it to your page and start pulling all this information in. And it's very, very easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new slider. We're going to give this a name, and we're going to call this News Slider. We'll leave the dimensions, that's fine. What I'm going to do is set this to be full width, and then I'm going to click on Create. Once it's done that, we can then tell it what kind of content we want. Now, normally you go in and start clicking on slide 1 and so on, or you'd pull in from the slide library to pull in the template. We're going to do it differently. You can see at the top left-hand side, slightly hidden away, it says Create Slide, and we've got a drop-down menu. We click on there, you can see we've got a range of other options available, and what we want is Create Dynamic Slides. Now, once you've clicked on that, you can see it opens up a whole range of different types of dynamic information we can pull in to use for the content on our slides. Now, we'll take a look at some of these in the future, like WooCommerce and Facebook and so on, but for now, we're going to keep this really easy and simple, and we're just going to use WordPress. So we can just click on Post by Filter, click on that, that'll take us over now, and we get some basic options on what we want to use to create our slides. As you can see, we've got things broken down to categories, tags, or custom taxonomies, show posts, and so on. So you can see all the different categories that I've got set up as part of my WordPress website are displayed in here. So if I wanted to restrict this, for example, to beginners tutorials, and I just want to have this animated header that'll show, say, 4 recent different posts from that particular category on the page that has all of the posts on there, then I could do that. Or I could leave it set to all and display everything. So I've got a range of options. If I've got tags that I want to use, so say for example I might have something that I want to feature, I could create a featured tag and then I could use that tag to filter the information. Okay, so if we scroll down, we leave it at the moment set to all. We'll leave everything else as is. You can see that we've got order by, and we can click on there, and we've got a range of options in there as well. We'll leave this to be post date, so that's fine. You can set this to be ascending or descending. Then we've got the generator settings. Now this is first of all where we set the number of slides we want to display. So for this example, I'm going to use 4. You've then got the cache expiration option. By default, it's set to 24, and what this will do is it'll only look for new content added to the slider every 24 hours. If you want to increase or decrease that, if you don't post very regularly or you post a lot several times a day, for example, you can change the expiration of your cache to make sure that it does pull in the content relevantly. And finally, we can click on View Records to see everything that's going to be displayed. Now, obviously, it's going to show everything from all my categories. So if I click on there, it'll show us all that information. But obviously, if you filter this down, it'll show you only the things that you filtered it down through. What's also useful here is you can see at the top of each of these columns, you've got these little tags. Now, these tags are used inside the slider to create and pull in the relevant content. So things like your content, your description, your title, your URL, and so on. Now we're going to use those in various different fashions through this video, but if you're ever stuck and you're thinking with what they are, you can always make a note of what's available in here if you needed to. Okay, let's click on Close on there. So we've done everything we want. We're just going to click on Save, and then we've set up the filtering to allow us to grab the information we want. That'll then take us into Smart Slider itself, where we can start building up the slides. Now, when you're working with dynamic content in Smart Slider, you need to think that this is just a placeholder. This is where you're going to create the basics, the placeholders for the various different elements. So don't worry too much about what's displayed on screen. That will change based upon the slides. What this is doing is it's showing you a preview of the first slide from the filter that you've got set up. So what we can do is we can click, and you can see we can switch between content or canvas. So we click on content, that allows us to put the content in there, and then the canvas will allow us to move it around with a little bit more flexibility. We've also got things in like the background, the animation settings, and generator, and so on. So let's just click on background, and let's just set this background to be a little darker. So click on there. What we're going to do is we're going to set the background color, and I'll just use black in this example, and we're going to set the opacity of the background image itself. We're going to put that down to around 50. And you can see what that does is it darkens the background down, still shows part of the image, but means when we put the text over the top, it's just going to be a little clearer for the end user. So that's the first thing we want to do. Next up, I want to get rid of this layer that's set in there. I don't want that. The layer that we've got below that, that's fine. That's just basically pulling in the title of the article. So what we can do is just drag that up, drop it somewhere in the middle. Doesn't matter too much where it is. You can see it kind of snaps because at the moment we've got the content setting. If we jump over to Canvas, I can move that around exactly as I want. So I suggest using it set to content to start off with, just to place your elements so you've got everything roughly lined up where you want, stacked on top of each other, and then you can fine tune it using the canvas option afterwards. You can also go through and specify using these three little triggers at the top what devices these are going to be displayed on. So if you didn't want any particular element to be displayed on a mobile device, for example, you could easily just uncheck mobile and it won't be displayed on there. So pretty cool, pretty easy. Next up then, if we take a look on the left hand side, you can see we've got the different types of layers that we can insert. Things like headings, text, images, buttons, and so on. We've got the title set up already in there, and if we click on that, you can see it opens up the panel that allows us to go through and configure that. You'll notice that in the text area, it currently says title, and it's got those little squiggly brackets, a little parenthesis on the side. Now that's a variable. If you remember back to the previous section, I said that if you take a look at the top of each of those columns, it'll show you the ID, the variable that you've got available to you. Well, you'll notice that this is already set for you, and when we take our mouse over, you can see it says variable in the top right-hand corner of that text area. If we click on there, you can see all the variables that we have available are all now displayed. So you can see title is already set up in there, but if we wanted to replace that with something else, we could easily do that. So if I wanted URL, for example, click on that, click insert, you'll see it's now been replaced with URL1. Click back on variable, and we'll come back in and say title. So we'll insert that back in there. We can then go through and we can do things like we can adjust the design. So if I wanted to change the font on there to something else, I can easily do that. So we'll say we'll change the font. We'll change the weight on there to say 100. Color of white is fine. And if I want to, I can increase the size of that as well to make it a little bit more impactful. You can change your alignment on there. You can do things like italic and all those kind of normal things that you could do. You've also then got option to create different animations on there if you wanted to. I'll leave it as is for now. This is more about dynamic information than styling all the different elements. Then you've also got events if you want to go a little bit deeper into what you can do. And finally, you've got the settings section on there. And again, you can see we can hide layer. We've got a variable option in there, so we can use the variables again. We've also got the options then to show things on, and we've got CSS classes and a whole ton of really cool things on there. Let's leave it as it is for now and say we're happy with that. So we'll close that down. Next thing we want to do is just drop in that information now by what date it was posted and who it's by before we put the button. So let's just grab a text layer, drop that underneath. By default, it puts a little bit of lorem ipsum text in there. Let's get rid of that. Again, you can see any of these now pop up with the word variable. So we can set different variables for the sort of desktop view, for tablet view, or for mobile view. So we can adjust that if we want to. We'll click on variable on there, and what we're going to do is we're going to say that this is author name. Actually, before we do that, let's put in the date that this was posted, and we'll click insert. You can see that puts the short code in there. So we'll say posted on the date, and we'll put by at the end. Now, if I go back in and click on variable, one little quirk with this is it doesn't actually append the information, it replaces the information. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this, just so I've got that on my pasteboard, come back into variable, and what we're going to do is we're going to say author, click insert. You can see that's now replaced what we put in there. So I can just go at the beginning of that, paste that back in, and we've got posted on the variable date, by, and the author. So it would be nice if you had the option that this would append it, if you just had that in there as opposed to it replacing it every time, but it's no big deal. So let's just jump over to the layers, let's center that, and let's just change that from being black to white as well. We'll change the font on there so everything is in keeping. So we just set that to Mooly as well. Okay on there, and we'll set that to be a little bit bigger. Now obviously you could use percentage values if you wanted to. However you want to style this, it's entirely up to you. Okay, so we've got some basic information in there. The last thing we're going to do is just drop a button in that allows you to click and go through to the actual article itself. So we click a button layer. Oops, didn't mean to click that twice, so just get rid of that second one. So there's our button in there. What we're going to do is we need to set the dynamic link up on there. So we'll click on it. You can see it says more at the moment. And again, we've got variable in there, so we can click on variable if we wanted to. But what we're going to do is we're just going to say read more. If we want the text to be fine on there, but we're going to change the variable for the link itself. So we'll click on variable, and what we'll do is we'll come over and we want the URL. If we click on there, you can see it shows us underneath the actual output from that particular variable. That's all good. We like that. So click on insert. That button now has been set up with the variable for that particular page or post when it's all kind of live on the site itself. So we've done the basics, we put everything we want in there. Now if we jump over to Canvas, we can just quickly fine tune this to make sure that everything is laid out the way we want it to be. All looking pretty good. I like that. That's quite nice. I'll hit save on there. And now if I want to check it out, I can simply come over and click on preview. And that'll load in a preview of this. And you can see we can now click to go through to the various different posts, all being pulled in, the 4 posts, all set up with a template we've kind of set up inside Smart Slider 3. So the next thing we're going to do now we've saved that and created the basics is we're going to jump over into our site and take a look at how easy it is to use Elementor to put this on our page itself. Okay, so we're going to come over into our pages and go to all pages. We're going to find our home page and we're going to click on edit with Elementor. We're going to let that load in, and once that's loaded in, we're going to change the current header image that's in there and replace it with something else. So you can see this is our test slider that I set up previously in the demo. What we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to add in a new section. Come over to the left hand side and we'll do smart, and you can see there's Smart Slider. So once you've got it installed, you've already got an icon in there ready to start using it. So very quick and easy. We'll drop that into our new section, choose our new slider. Gives it a second or so to load that in. So there's our new slider set up. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this up and replace the current demo that I had in there, and we'll just get rid of that one so we don't have a duplicate in there. Okay, so there's our new header. If we update that and take a look at the page, refresh this, you'll see there's our header in place. Now obviously we've got a gap at the top which I can do within a moment, but that's how easy it is to create these dynamic sliders to pull in the information from your post. So if we come back in and we just click on there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to advanced and I'm going to set a negative margin in there of, I think, if I remember rightly, it's -100. We'll unlink those and set that back to be empty. So we'll hit update on there, come back over and refresh our page, and there we go. So there's our slider with our 4 posts in there, and if I want to, I can easily click and go over and read the full article. So you can see there's our ACF test, and everything is set up in there the way we'd expect it to. So pretty easy. Now how about if we want to make some changes to the slider? We might want to change the filtering options. We may want to duplicate one and then just change the options in there. Well, it's all very easy. If we come in and edit the slider that we want, you can see that we've got our slider all set up, and if we take a look, we've also got a range of different options now that allow us to adjust and configure various different things for our slider itself. However, if you want to access this dynamic information, you need to go about it a slightly different way. If we come over and take a look at the top where it shows us all the slides, you can see there's our dynamic slide, and if we click, we've got edit. However, we've got 3 little dots in the corner. If we click on there, you can see it says edit generator. If we click on there, that'll take us back into the post by filter information where we can go in and fine tune. So let's just say we only want to have beginner tutorials. Well, we can just filter that out. If we come down and say view records, you can see now we've got a different set of results. So only posts that are inside the beginner's tutorial will show up. If we hit save on there, we jump back over to our test page and refresh this, we find now we have a different set of results on there. These are now being filtered out based upon, the fact they don't have some images on there, but it's basically being filtered out based upon a different set of category options. So it's very easy. You could create one setup slider, create all the different options you want in there like we've just done. Then you could just duplicate that, go into the generator, update the query that's being used on there, and then you've got a completely new slider with a whole range of new images and new content to be pulled into the various different pages. So that's how you use Smart Slider 3, the Pro version, the full version, to get access to create these great dynamic slides. It's a really cool way of making your website look a little bit more interesting, a little bit more interactive than just using some basic still images. Now, I've only scratched the surface of this. There's a ton more things you could do in to really get in there, configure it, whole range of different options you can use to pull in various different bits of information and create great looking different looking websites using Smart Slider 3. Well, I hope you found the video useful. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, and hit the bell icon to be notified every time we add new content. If you want to find out more about Smart Slider 3, or you'd like to help support the channel by purchasing any of the themes, plugins, or add-ons we use on the channel, please consider using the affiliate links in the description below. It doesn't cost you a penny more, but it does give a small percentage back to help support the channel and help us create more great content for you. If you use Smart Slider 3 or a different alternative, please put some comments in the comment section below and let me know how you use this, what ideas you've got to create great looking ways of interacting with your website and taking it beyond just those basics. I'd love to hear from you guys. Let's get a conversation going down in the comment section. Well, as always, until next time, take care.